Tony 2 coming back with another video. Let's get through the rest of the passing game on the Mike McCarthy offense. Sorry for the delay. I was a little under the weather, but I want to make sure I get through to me, the complimentary stuff. Really, what you're going to start games with, in my opinion, should be these passes, and then you can get to the vertical game later. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you a quick little outline of this is my custom book. These are the plays in my custom book that I'm going to talk about. Really, we're going to focus on deep cross, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some different variations of deep cross, like pepper cross, and then we'll talk about Seattle or sail or scissors, which is an outside breaking route. So, first one is an inside breaking route. The second one's an outside breaking route, and then we have some quick game stuff to get through. All right, and that's pretty much it. The ND Colt stuff, you guys, if you really want to get the probably the best learning on how to run that stuff is to go back to my Indianapolis video, talk about that. And then everything else is going to be like small modifications off of this, okay? And remember, go to JTO's website. He does a great job breaking down, like, for example, when we get into Seattle or Sail, I think he has a whole flood video where he explains the route progression and stuff like that. But this is going to be pretty easy. It's going to be 1 to 2 reads, okay? Maybe with the check down involved, but it's going to be 1 or 2 and then make a play if you have to extend the play or whatever it might be. Let me just kind of give you the background that I know, or at least how I use it in Madden. All right, now, just so you guys know, there is a stock book that I'm using. I am using the Cowboys stock book, so I'm going to show you guys that at the end of the video. If you want to fast forward, that's fine. There's the stock book to be there. You guys can use that. I did everything for it. I have a ready list with all the plays. I have a play call sheet, and then I've been using it in my CFM games for the past 5, 6, 7 games. It's been I've been playing pretty well with it. So it's the same concepts that I pulled out of the Cowboys stock book. So guys on YouTube, if you haven't seen that, just fast forward to the end if you want. But here we're just going to make sure we get through all the rest of these concepts so you guys can have a complete understanding of the basics, and then we'll go from there. All right. So we're going to jump into the next concept here. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so this is the deep cross concept in their playbook. A lot of times this is going to come off of play action, probably 80 to 95% of the time. And it usually involves a skinny post from the opposite side of where the deep cross is coming, and the in route usually follows behind it. So I've talked about this play before. This is a play that I use in the Indianapolis offense as well. And you're going to see it littered through Madden in every playbook, okay? You necessarily don't have to have the deep dig behind it, but really, the deep cross, as they call it in their system, is just this over route. My fault. Is this big deep over route that gets over at the top of zone coverage linebackers playing the intermediate zone. I think everybody understands it. We've seen it. This route behind it, if you can find one that has the dig behind it, it gives you an answer when you get users that really carry out and try to get underneath that first route, right? Then you have another potential route that could be open behind it. Right? If you get a guy that baits you and then comes back, you can just kind of sit on this route. The hardest thing about this route is that it requires time. But if you do it from under center, it can be a long developing route. So like if you see here what they said in their playbook, that this is a 7-step drop if you were doing it from no play action. So the one thing I like to do, in my opinion, and I'm not always the best at calling this play, is we always have an outlet here. A running back usually comes through, or a tight end blocks and gets out to the flat, right? If I take the play action look and there's somebody in my face right away, I'm just trying to get the ball to the outlet. I'm not going to try to throw it deep. All right. So, again, the reads that you see here is 1 to 2, and then 3 would be an outlet, right? If you get pressure, just get the ball to your outlet, right? So, this design here of wide deep cross ZN, this is actually a combination of deep cross with there's ZN. Really, we're looking at the deep cross aspect of this thing, all right? Now, let me see if there's any other examples of this play in the book, in the early parts of their book. Okay, I would say that this play here, pylon deep cross, pops up in some of the playbooks. I'm pretty sure in my custom book, I have it in there. It's one of my favorite plays in the high strike zone right before you get into the red zone. So again, you get the Z deep cross, right? And that's your first read. then you have the pylon that's coming behind it. Okay, so it's what they call double seven sometimes, us defensive guys, because it's almost like two corner routes. All right, but this is more of like an alert shot. All right, if you see something open back there, throw it up to the back pylon. But really, the read goes one to the outlet two. Okay, so that's how the read works. And let's just jump on the Madden field and take a look at it. And let's just give you some examples from. Let me give you examples from my custom book, and then I'm also going to jump into the Cowboys book and give you some examples early. Okay, from there. All right. So the first one I'm going to show you is just out of doubles, PA post cross. This is hard to do against the computer because the computer sits back and plays soft zone and the pressure is pretty good. So I may not get the exact reads, but we're looking for horned and we're looking for Stallworth. So we're looking for triangle, we're looking for square. Okay, and our check down here is the tight end. He's going to take a little bit of time to get out, so he may not be the reliable check down that I had talked about, where if you get pressure, give it to him right now. Sometimes it's better when it's a running back, as you see here, going to the other side. But in general, the reads as we go through it, this is really a trusted throw. You want to get it out to your first read, pretty much with the play action, almost, I would say, 1/2 a second to the second after you go through your play action fake. Okay. Pretty much, is he open? Give it to him. If not, move to your next read quickly. All right. If it looks blurry or any type of pressure, start thinking to check it down to your running back or your tight end. Okay. So this is a trusted throw, like I had said. A lot of people throw this ball. This is not anything new to Madden, but having the combination of that deep VN behind it helps you out a little bit. All right. Let me try to get some other plays here. I mean, I put the defense into cover three hard flat just to kind of show you, hopefully, that everybody reacts down, including the inside guys. Let's take a look at a different one. This one here is out of flex flats. Again, this is actually from, saw this in a game. Said if you ran it. Again, we're just trying to get the same sort of situation here with the over route, deep dig behind it. Okay. And then obviously you have your check down with your tight end. So that's an example that can happen there off of play action where somebody comes through clean. And you don't want to be throwing the ball down the field. You'd rather be throwing it short or not even throwing it at all. Okay. That's an example of going to the middle of the field. Okay. So you guys have the concept here. I won't show you too many plays, but I do want to go in and show you some other like variations of the play. I pressed the wrong button there. My fault. A single back tight, Y off, a deep cross. Right. So a lot of people, I'm just trying to get into a coverage that can help me out here. Again, this is going to be good versus this one here is a much deeper route, versus users that try to get over in this spot. That's a really tough spot to get to. So we have the deep cross route, right? And then we have the check down, which is going to be a little bit late here. It's going to be a check release from the receivers. Check releases from the receivers are a little bit more reliable, so that's a good thing. All right, but that's another version of deep cross. That's just the simple version without there being any type of dig route behind it. There's some other versions of the route that I've seen. This one here is coming from the Indianapolis Colts playbook from back in the day in the 2010 season. They called it Flounder. So you get the deep over, right? Deep cross with the dig behind it. The only bad thing here, as you see, there's no real good check down. Okay, so what they did is they put the tight end on a drag route or a through route to serve as the check down. So this is actually, again, coming from a real life system. This is how they ran it. In Madden, that outside skinny double move post, um, yeah, that route doesn't work. Okay, so let's just put them on a quick route and get them out of there. All right, so you can work the same concept from this angle as well. All right. Just wanted to show you the different versions of it, and this is all in my custom playbook right here. Also from non-shotgun, I'm sorry, from non-play action. I also have it built out of, where is it at? My chip formation, right? So post cross is another version of it. So you guys see the same pattern, right? You got the deep over with the dig behind it, right? The deep end, and then you have your check downs to your backs, okay? Sometimes I would be honest with you, throwing a check down to the back can really get you 10 yards, okay? So don't be upset by it. Just don't force the ball deep, okay? So that's the same example there. Let's jump into the Cowboys playbook, see what they have on their stock playbook real quick. Okay, so we are now into the Cowboys book real quick. And like I had told you, they have the same play out of Ace Slot, PA Scissors Flood. That's there for you. But they have a lot of different versions of this thing. They have also out of Wing Pair, this PAX Burst Cross is another version of this play. This is also gives you a nice little shot if you want to take that. Kind of like the pylon play, where you can kind of throw it deep if you want to the outside guy, but obviously you have your intermediate route and you have your check down. Okay, so you just don't have any dig behind you on that one, but that's not a requirement in the play. So there's a good number of plays here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the plays that come up here. We have Ace Close, right? We have PA Cross on the right hand side of the screen. We have Wing as well, right? And then down towards the bottom, they have their Wing Close kind of triple set right there. You have the Close PA Cross, all right? You also have, I think, the same play we showed you already from my book. This is actually a different version of it. The PA Slot Cross, they give you the halfback to the flat on the right hand side of the screen, all right? You have Strong Cross. I'm going to give you guys, you don't have to copy this stuff down. Now I'm going to give you the whole play call sheet here in a second. This one here is a little bit different. This PA Deep, it's one that over route is not really the same type of route. That's a different play, to be honest with you. So I really shouldn't be in that category. Okay, Weak Z, close. You have PA counter, shot post, right? And then doubles hip. We kind of go back to a little bit of the traditional one that I showed you in the beginning with the over route on PA go slot cross, or the deep crossing route with the in route behind it. All right. And your check down is your tight end there. Okay. So those are all the ones out of play action. And then I don't think I have any right now off of straight drop back pass out of this book. So you're going to have to rely on play action to run this type of concept. But I wanted to show it to you. All right. Let's jump back into the whiteboard room and take a look at the next concept. Seattle route is a unique route. It kind of works in and back out. That's pretty much how it's taught. But it can just be a regular corner route. It doesn't have to be that type of route. All right. Again, we're getting a flood very similar to the deep cross, where somebody's clearing on the outside. There's a skinny post. Then you have your corner route, which is coming from the same side. And then you have some sort of check down. Okay. The check down could be coming from a running back, made in like here in the drag. Okay. But again, the read is very simple. It's just looking for the corner and then looking for the underneath throw. Okay. A lot of times I'll talk about how I do it in Madden, how I kind of go through the process, but that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other examples here. So let's just jump back onto the Madden field. And before I do that, also, hold on. Let me, when I jump back on the Madden field, I'll do this concept from my custom book, and then I'll make sure I give you the ones from the Cowboys book as well. All right. Okay. I think everybody knows this play. This play is in the Dallas book as well. A slot, PA Scissors Flood. Okay, so you can get that. Let me just double check that real quick for you. Pretty sure you can get that in the Dallas book as well. Sorry about this, guys. Yep. Okay, yep. PA Scissors Flood. All right, so this is really the Seattle concept kind of paired with the Pepper concept. Um, love this play in the high red zone. Love to give it to my best guy. This play used to kind of break down early in the cycle. The tight end with the route would get screwed up, but I think they fixed that. But again, all we're really reading here is just the tight end to the running back, all right? And the same idea, if you get pressure, you know what I'm saying, you don't like it, throw it. That was a bad decision. Throw it to the running back, all right? Just get the ball out of your hands. Now, there are the extra elements here of the double post and everything there for you. But if you don't like it, want to take it back there and cover two, throw it to the running back. So that's the read. And you can see how the Seattle route is run, okay? You can see, watch the tight end. He works in and then kind of works back out, right? And goes from there. So it's a very easy concept. The main thing is just about executing. And if you feel pressure, get rid of the ball. Now, if you want to go into some just traditional corner concepts, really what I would call more sail concepts. And let me just go into 3x1, gun Y off trips. All right, this one is off of play action as well. I don't really use this play too much, but I'm just going to go random play. All right, so we have a corner route, not necessarily a deep corner. It's more of like an out route. You might have to pass lead this on the way up. Okay, but again, it's a trusted throw, and this is a good play, or maybe third and short or whatever. Give yourself a little play action play, or maybe 1st and 10, and running the ball a good amount. Bad decision there by me. So if you're not sure, just check it down. That's probably the best thing to do. Now, there is always on these plays for the most part, if it's not if it's built out of 3x1, okay, or even 2x2, a lot of times you do have a backside dig, give you like almost a third answer. Um and the way I look at it is this from a timing standpoint. Let me try to find a different version of this play. Give me 1 second here. All right, yeah. So I added this one in because I saw them running in real life. All right, so three, the tight end's gonna work the corner out here. Number two is going to work to the flat. All right, so you see how you have the backside receivers working that dig. So in my mind, that's really almost like the second option. So the way I kind of go through a count, if there's no play action, all right, really, I'm looking to throw the ball to either the corner or the flat route. Really, almost at the same time, because who are we trying to beat? We're trying to beat the flat defender. So if that flat defender drops back with depth, right? I know I got to throw it short, right? Most of the time, that guy's going to make it an easy read. If he comes up, I'm throwing it deep. So, from a standpoint of if this was a 5-step drop, it'd be 1, 2, and then I make a decision. That's a late decision. But you would drop back or be in the pocket. When you get to the top of your drop, it would have been the same count if you were trying to get the ball away quickly. You know how I do one Mississippi or one throw, right? So one throw, ball's not coming out. But it can come out on a 2 throw or it can come out on a 3 throw. That's how you can look at it if you're just reading those two. All right. So 2 throw, not sure. 3 throw, okay, I'm going to take the shot down the field. Okay. So it can come out a little bit early, it can come out a little bit late, but really just because you're reading two guys over one, that's it. Now, when it's man to man, it's easy. Then you're just reading leverage, you're good to go. Now, if you don't like that idea, okay, and you say, coach, I just want to go through an easy read, 1 throw, 2 throw, I'm either going to throw it to the tight end now, all right? Or when I come back to 3 seconds in the pocket, you should be the play starting to break down. You can always now look for your dig if you want to look for him as an option. A lot of times the back gives you a better read, a better route here too in the backside. I'm not going to throw it here because obviously the computer's playing the hell out of it. But if you have that open backside, you can look at it. So your read can kind of be read the front side part of the concept first, and back to your weak side. Now, this kind of works really in Madden when there's no pass rush, and this is kind of how the state of Madden is. It allows you to kind of get away with doing this idea of having the backside read. I don't think this is really a true backside read in real life, but I just want to make sure you guys know that some routes, that dig route gets open versus a lot of different coverages, okay, even man coverage, all right? So it's a good answer if you don't want to just throw the check down. That can almost be like your check down, if that makes sense. Very long winded way to say it, all right? All right, so let me see what else we have here. Traditional flood, okay, gun Y off trio weak. So this one here is, I've talked about this one a little bit, where you have a tight end that's going to chip release. If that's the case, just make sure you double team defensive end or the outside linebacker off the edge. That allows the offensive tackle, the right tackle, to come out there, all right, and to block him, or else sometimes he will leave him alone. All right, so this is a two-man look. So in this play, you really only have a corner route, or maybe this is where you can come back to the dig to your running back. Okay, so if he's on a route where he's working away from leverage versus man, you're in good shape. With a little bit of a long developing play, you kind of have to, again, go back to trusting it. So you really want to make sure that's your best matchup in the slot, because that throw has to be thrown a little bit later than usual because it's man to man. And also you have to throw it on time. I'm not 100% sure, right? So not when I forced the backside route wasn't what I wanted, but the front side route wasn't there. And this one, again, I have to trust it, right? You have to know that your guy's better than that defender and you can win on that corner route versus two man, all right? So that's pretty much where we are with this play. There are some other ones off of play action that are a little bit different, a little bit tighter formations. We're just trying to it's a little bit more of a quick hitter. Let me show you one real quick. Yeah, strong Z close PA sale. Okay, so strong B close, strong Z close PA sale. There we go, right there. It's a traditional scissors combination, close to each other. Is used more in short yardage or first and 10, trying to surprise somebody. You think you know the coverage, right? And you get the same idea. You get the corner route running with the guy in the flat underneath them. And this one also gives you that dig as another option on the backside. So if all the coverage got pushed over to the front side, like let's say cover three cloud, cover nine, you come back and look at that backside receiver running that deep end or the end route. That might be something you want to try. Okay. Pressure in my face. I got the ball to the fullback. Pretty simple, right, guys? I mean, that's the great thing about these two concepts. They kind of, in my opinion, are the same, but they just kind of work opposite sides of the field. One's working from all the way across the field. It's like flooding the opposite zone. So it counts as an inside breaking route. This one's more of an outside breaking route, flooding the same side as where you're lined up. So kind of in that same family. That's why I want to group them together. All right. All right, let me quickly go into the Cowboys playbook and just show you a couple plays out of the stock book that they have that we can find. Okay, so we're in the Cowboys playbook. I just picked the old school Cowboys too. So we have the same play action here. I told you about out of wing slot. You have where is it at? Not wing slot. I'm sorry. A slot. A scissors flood. Right. And then we also have out of wing slot. This is a kind of a quick hitter type of play that we had with a strong Y close, a strong Z close. I'm sorry. You have a tight end scissors on the right hand side, so you have that concept working for you. All right, and then you have a few more. So there's a couple plays out of just even under center doubles, play action, PAY corner. Okay, so you can see it now on the right hand side. You have that same three-level flood. I mean, you might get that backside dig there for as another option for you on some of these plays. Okay, then we have our deep crossing route concepts. But there's more, by the way, there's more flood concepts just from drop back. So I don't want you to think that's just it. One of my favorites I like to use early in the games. Let me just show you this one here. Trey Y Flex. It's a little bit bastardized, but Cowboy Flood Switch, right? I love when the corner route comes from number three. It's very hard to defend, right? When it comes from number two, it's a little bit more predictable. But this route is the same idea as a flood or sail or Seattle concept, right? You're just going to read 3 to 2 here, okay? Ishmael to Bryant. That's how you're going to work it, all right? Don't mind these rosters. They have like different people, and I think it's like an all-star, the best of the Cowboys. This one here, PA Sale, is another version of the flood play, but they also have close PA cross. Here we go. So close PA cross. All right. So now you have your check down route coming from one of your other tight ends working with you across the field. All right. So there's a good amount. There's really a good amount of crossing routes, but most of them are play action when you get into the Cowboys book. In my custom book, I do have some like the pepper cross where you have two guys. It's not play action, but most of the time there's a lot of play action crossing routes or Seattle slash sale routes that you can find in this book. So at the very end, I'm going to give you guys the ready sheet so you'll be able to see all the plays organized by category. All right, and that should help you out. And then I'll give you, you know what, the play call sheet. I might hold off on that, guys. I'm being honest with you. That took me a lot of time to put together. So, guys on Patreon, I get that play call sheet. All right. All right. So let's jump into our next concept that can also help when it comes to just being a West Coast team. Something that really sticks out is our ability to throw a quick game. And I kind of want to talk about how I use it compared to maybe how most teams use it. And then we can go from there. All right, so this is Spider, okay? Spider is spacing, all right? And usually the way it works from their reads, and I think JTO has a video on this as well, it usually works from left to right. So you have the first read being your slant. Then this is the actual spacing route, all right? These three players working together. It almost looks like curls or curl flat, but it's just at 5 yards, okay? So this is a quick game route. And usually it's 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Honestly, if I remember watching JTO, like going through it and that progression usually doesn't work. Okay. And I can probably go into more in depth, why would you use this? Definitely going to use it versus zone teams for the most part. So this is the one play that I will call pretty much in the second half after I know I'm playing somebody who's using a lot of zone. Okay. It could be zone match as well. So I don't really always read one, to be honest with you. My one comes from the flat route. Okay. And then I go to my two being that inside little kind of almost like spot route or whatever they call it. Okay. Because if you're playing against a zone defense, and let's just say there's a strong safety standing over here, you're pretty much reading him. If he works out right now, then you know you have this route. If there's any type of hesitation and you see free grass, you can throw, that's your first read, is throw it to the flat. All right. So if you see free grass, just throw it to the flat. After that, if it's zone defense, this guy is gonna have to expand. The next linebacker inside will try to get out to this guy, but usually he can't get there in time. All right. If he does for some reason, then maybe you can come back to this inside guy. All right. But to me in Madden, that guy isn't really open too often. All right. I don't like this versus cover two. All right. So this is cover two. Don't like this. Now, they can pretty much cover. We have four guys underneath technically, and they have five defenders. Okay. So they can cover with him, and cover with him. And a lot of times the middle read player kind of gets a little bit of depth, so this guy can get underneath them, but it's not a great play. So to me, the quick game and what I wanted to get into was more about knowing the coverage after you've gone through maybe a first half. Okay. But this is the one play that I feel kind of confident that I can run versus any coverage. If it's man to man, we are in a situation where these little 5 yard hooks can work about 60% of the time versus man to man. If it's an all out pressure, the slant can work about 50% of the time if you have a stud to make sure you pass lead it down. Okay. So this is spacing or AKA spider. Now, also, a lot of times in the West Coast world, people would, basically have a concept over here. Okay, so this would be dragging a flat and a slant, and then they would use spacing, some sort of spacing as the check down part of the concept. So you start here again and you work over this way. In Madden, it does show up a few times, but I really don't use it too often, to be honest with you. So this is the spacing play. I won't go through uh, the slants, quick slants. I think everybody should know that. Go to JTO's page. But again, I'm going to show it to you on the field. When it comes to quick slants, I am more we're running like dragging to one side, lion to the other, where it's a double slant, or if it's just double lion. I use it more for a check versus cover zero pressure, or versus split safety, cover two and cover four. And I'll show it to you right now. But I just want to let you know I'm not going to show you the rules here. It's very generic. That's that. And then there's stick. Stick is also just a very generic play. I don't have the rules written out, but we'll show it on the field and I'll talk about how I use it. And if you're using the stock book for the Cowboys, these quick plays are always in every single formation, and they're there for you to use as an audible, which is great. All right. In my custom, I don't have all of these plays as audibles. Probably need to have excuse me, quick gameplay as one of my audibles. If I don't have an RPO, that's probably the other one that in today's football versus a lot of pressure looks, a certain aggressive looks, the RPO play can work for you as well. All right. All right. Let's take a look at these plays on Madden. Okay, so my favorite one is out of bunch formation. All right, so it could be gun or under center. This one in my custom playbook, I think it's both. The bunch. This is the one here that I have, and they actually call it split 'em. They don't call it spacing. They call it either spacing. See the call. I'm sorry, they don't call it spider. They call it split 'em. The way I'm about to run it right now, and I'll show it to you. Um, it's spacing, but we're gonna have number one work the out. So it's spacing switch, all right, which is now when I talked about throwing it to the outside guy, this makes life a whole lot easier. And you can just read to see if he wins or not. Okay. All right. They gave me a man coverage, which I don't really want to see too much, but I should have probably thrown it to the should have thrown it to either curl, I call it curls, but either the two little 5-yard hitches, okay? As long as you throw it on time, you should be fine. So let's just see what the computer keeps giving me. So this is the one that I hope to get more of. If I'm getting zone, I'm going to throw the quick little out right now. Versus zone coverage is your first read. And you see how I'm anticipating the coverage here. So this is the reason why I'm working to the right hand side. If this wasn't a blitz, or if that uh, flat defender would have went out right now, would have looked towards number 2, who would have been up, and then I would have worked towards number 3 last. Okay. It really goes again 1, okay, and then there's really like 2A and 2B. So 2A and 2B are your both your little hitches. All right, that's that. Now you should have a check down. You don't hear, which is kind of bad. You should have a check down with your back flaring out to the left, but he doesn't. Sometimes he flares out to the right. Now, if you do get an obvious all-out pressure look, which I don't know if this is what this is here. Nope, it's not. Then you can definitely throw the slant on the backside. All right. So if you see yourself checking into this, because this could be all-out pressure, I think it is. Oh, this is not slant on the backside. My fault. Usually it's a slant on the backside. If it's not, you got to make sure you put him in one. All right. But that was a slant. At the last second, I noticed that he's just running another hitch. This is where you want the slant. This could be a big play for you. All right. So that's the first one that I have there. And then I do have some other formations, like obviously bunch formations is a dead giveaway that I'm going to run it. I do have one on a strong Z close to give myself a little bit of variety from 2-back set. All right. So now the fullback is number 1, right? And then here, I kind of read that kind of late. That linebacker took forever to kind of get out to the flat. And I saw that he was moving out to the flat, the linebacker here, and I decided to throw it to number 2, even though the corner was right on him for a second. So as he takes forever, he does clear. I said, okay, I can throw it to 2. A little bit dangerous there, right? Spacing's not as good here when it comes to high formation doing this play, okay? All right, so that one I got a little spooked on, but I went to my third read there. All right, so that's how quickly I'm doing it. You can see I'm not dropping back more than 5 yards, right? Probably could have thrown it to 1. I didn't do it for some reason. 2 was obviously locked down, and 3 became open, okay? So if they come out and really any type of 4-under defense, it's really, you can still get this play, but it's really good versus quarters defense. There's only 3 underneath defenders, and the safeties don't overcompensate. They don't overcompensate like they're supposed to in real life. Okay. I went to the backside there. Just I saw free access. If I ever see a situation where this is almost like an RPO, where there's like nobody standing here, and as soon as the ball is snapped, nobody drops back, I'm gonna just throw that slant right now. Okay, into that window. All right, so that's spacing or spacing split them. And then we have dragon, lion. All right, so let's just find that. Now, if I know a team is playing a lot of like cover 2, cover 4, I will come out and just call this play from the start. But for the most part, I do have this play in particular as one of my audibles. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to call it versus specific looks. So let's just come out versus cover 2, okay? So in general, this is right now dragon to the left and lion to the right, even though it's kind of messed up because the tight end is not running a real slant. Doesn't matter too much here, okay? Um, don't like how the back is on this side either right now. I'd rather have the back be away from the double slant side, okay? So let me just do this. Now, in real life, this slant I can't draw on the screen right now. This slant should hold that number 2, right? Um, he should stay on that guy. He shouldn't expand unless he notices it's a 3-step. So I'm talking about the corner flat defender, the linebacker in the box. This guy here, let me mic him. This guy here, okay? He shouldn't expand on this route, but to really make sure that he's not going to expand on this route, all right, I'm going to take the route. This is actually cover 2. I apologize. He's definitely not going to expand because he's not the flat defender. But I will take the inside route and put him on a streak. Now, some people are like, oh, that's cheesy. Well, this is exactly what it would look like if it was a route that it's supposed to be running in the NFL. It would be like an inside breaking slant that would never really break. He would just kind of almost wall off that defender. So versus cover 2, you know there's a window here, and you know you're going to have leverage on the corner because the corner has to play outside. All right. So versus cover 2, this is one of my favorite plays. Having that tight end work up the field definitely holds that linebacker, opens up a nice little quick little window for the slant. If I left it alone, let me just leave it alone. Let me just try this out on film here. Let me just leave him alone. Let him work inside. Let's see if that tight. Let's see if that the two vert hook player stays inside too. He does. Okay, but it's still a danger player to hit me, right? So you can get away with just using this without the danger player. I mean, without mulching the guy over. This one I didn't like, right? When the back is to that side, it makes everybody push over one to that right hand side. Not good. All right. So let me go up against cover 4 and show you how this works as well. I mean, you can imagine versus cover 4. I don't have to show you. It's going to be the same idea. Okay. Let's go with Y trips version of double slants. Okay. This is a little bit different now. I'm going to go against cover 4. So right now we know from our experiences, right, that the quarter flat defender, let me mic him. Quarter flat defender is going to work out with number 2, right, or number 3. Whoever, if number 2 and 3 switch right from the beginning, then it will be an exchange, right? So this is the quarter flat defender in quarters coverage. If the tight end goes to the flat, he has to take him. If number 2 was to go to the flat, he has to take him. All right. So doesn't matter how this route works. Right now, number 3 is going to the flat. And as soon as he goes to the flat and then number 2 works in, really kind of occupies the mic as we look at it right now. There's going to be a wide open window right here versus cover 4. The reason why that's happening is because in real life, that safety should be driving that slant route. He should be coming down on it, but he doesn't do it in the game. All right. So this is what I like to use versus quarters coverage, 3x1 version of this play as well. All right. So you can go 2x2 or 3x1. Again, I use it more as a check down, right? And then the very last one here is stick, which is already one of my audibles. Let's just say not check down audibles. So let's just say I'm coming out in 4 verts, right? And I'm getting the classic, I'm going to cover 0 pressure you. Well, I'm not going to just call 4 verts. I want to go back to a very reliable quick game play, which is stick. This play right here, I know that safety's covering the tight end, but he's never really going to make a play on him, especially if a good tight end. Even though he's outside leverage, doesn't make a play. If you're worried about cover 0, I would put the tight end on the end. I don't know if these linebackers are going to switch, but trying to get over and try to get across his face is fine, okay? Or if you want to put him on a drag, but that's a little bit too much. Now, the backside guy versus cover 0 as well. Really, the read technically goes, again, that's the alert to me on the backside, okay? If you like the matchup, if you think you got it, start your read there and then go to the tight end, all right? But in general, it really goes from number 2, right, horn, to the tight end. Okay, that's pretty much the 1-2 read if you're just reading it out versus different coverages. Versus man coverage, who's going to win the matchup, right? So let me just show you this play now. So again, I'm only showing it to you versus cover 0 because that's the time I like to call it. I'm not really calling this play against anything else. I'm only calling it when somebody shows me a cover 0 look. It does work pretty well versus cover 2. It does work okay versus cover 3 in quarters, but it's not super reliable enough for me to have it in my game plan. I'm not going to run that much quick game routes. Okay, we have enough routes that kind of break inside pretty quick with the Indy series, with the whole idea that we run Pennsylvania levels, all that stuff gives us some quick breaking and breaking routes that we don't need to really sit here and focus on all of the old school West Coast stuff. Okay, so um let me just take a look at the Cowboys playbook and just talk about it over here. I'm not going to switch over. Let me see here. Okay, so I put them in the same category. So yeah, Dragon Lion shows up a good amount. Spider shows up a good amount. Sticks shows up a good amount. So you have all 3 of those at your ready. I think there's about 2 to 4 plays within each category. One has 2. Dragon Lion has 2. Spider has 3, and Nick has actually 5. So just remember that when you want to go through it. And that's pretty much the core of what we got going on. All right. The next thing and the last thing is really just kind of getting into some of the red zone stuff, which are kind of specific plays. And a lot of them are in the back of my playbook, so I can find them. But a lot of them, from what I know, their personality, from what I've seen, is a lot of corner routes and post routes. So as we start to work down the field, we're going to talk about using some of these combination corner and post, which is double post or double corner. All right, we'll kind of work with that a little bit. May give yourself some easy touchdowns. And then after that, we're just looking at generic smash concepts, right? High low concepts, NB concepts. or just even 4 verticals, right? And then off of play action makes it even more sellable, right? So that was pretty much it. I know this is a shorter video than usual, but I just wanted to get something out to you guys to kind of finish up the passing game part of the series. And that's pretty much going to be it from here on. If you want to get more information, if you join the Patreon, hit me up. I'm going to show, this playbook in general, the Cowboys playbook. I'm working on I'm using right now. So I'm going to stay in it just so I can get used to it some more. And then I have my custom version of the offense ready to go so that when Madden shuts down, I have my version and I can build off of it when the new Madden season starts. All right. All right, guys. Hope you appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you later. Peace. All right, guys. Here's the ready sheet for the Cowboys. Just wanted to show it to you real quick. Right. Stock playbook, Cowboys playbook. This is coming off my Excel document right now. So what I did was I went through the book and I picked out about 100 to I think about 150 to 175 plays that represent what I saw in film. Okay, so starts off on the left hand side. You have your run plays, right, and that's pretty generic. They run a lot of tight zone in this playbook, which is just inside zone. All right, I kind of went back and looked at how um, the last coordinator called it, and he called it tight zone in his playbook 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure maybe Mike might have kept that. Right, there's a good number of read options in this playbook. Really, about 3 of them that you can use. They use that more in the red zone. Duo shows up 4 times, so happy about that. That's a big play for the team. I think they should have more duo plays. Power shows up a decent amount. I kind of use that as a secondary type of play, maybe in the second half, once I've gotten through most of my play calls. They need more pin and pull sweeps. I don't like how there's only one of them. That's kind of whack, but it's all right. And then we have our outside zone and wide zone plays. All right, really outside zone. Okay, that works that way. So the RPOs, mostly of them are bubbles. Okay, slants, really kind of like looking for alerts. If the X receiver is if there's a free window to throw him the ball, that's part of the deal there. There are some like glances mixed into some of these bubbles. There's one play I like a lot. There's a glance and a bubble together, right? And then we have our jailbreak screens and our halfback screens. All right. So we kind of have that mixed into the book. Now, play action wise, we have our deep cross, which we talked about in this video today. We have our individual kind of like vertical game concepts. So really 4 verticals or just like our both concept, like we talked about in the first video. And we have our Seattle concept. All right, Seattle's a good concept. Based on that first play, that's probably the best play in the book. That's the one where the tight end works in and back out. And then we have all of our corner route, flood route concepts there. That also will flow into a little bit of down here. We have flood pops up again in the drop back passing game a lot. All right. Nakeds, good amount of nakeds and naked slides in this book. Nakeds, again, are the differences. There's no guy coming from the backfield going to the flat on a naked. All right. It's going to be your check down guy is going to be somebody from the front side, like a tight end, who's going to block down with a 2 count and go to the flat. All right. But in this game, that play works pretty well. All right. Then we have our quick game plays here. Trying to highlight it again, like I talked about. Not going to be something I'm going to call a whole lot. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to get into because you're putting me into it, because you're pressuring me. We have the all go and the all go special package, followed by the levels package. So that levels package includes Pennsylvania, right? It includes Tampa. So there's some plays here that I got to like talk about to, get you guys into the right play. So for example, this one right there, inside post out, and Trey Y flex. That's a play that is the Tampa play, really kind of built for you right there. If you want to turn it into Pennsylvania, just put number 2 and out. Okay. Same thing here with the empty base flex. Really, this play right here is a built-in. It's not even either play. You're gonna have to make number 2 do something because I think his route is actually a wheel route. So you got to put him on an in route or an out route. Okay. So that's there. Flood is flood. We talked about it. Then the plays that are in the red are mostly in the red zone, right? These are mostly red zone plays, but you can also use them on third down. All right. We got our double post plays. We got double moves, Salem, I kept that name by accident. That's really the pin play. That's the play where you get a high low. Okay. When you go back to our levels concept, this is more traditional indie or cult type of plays. Mesh in their system, they call it actually drive X burst. Okay. And then we have QB drawers, which they do use down there. All right. And then the 2 minute drill, I chose two formations that I feel like are really going to be good. Just use them exclusively in 2 minute. You don't have to. There's good plays there, so you can use them if you have to on third down. But I like the spread wide flex with my 2x2 play, and then I like my pray open. Okay, and you should be able to roll through most of those plays are the actual audibles, so you should be able to go no huddle with that. So I like this playbook. It represents the team pretty well. And then I've been playing with it recently. So if you want to take a look at it, to see me playing it, I'll put those games up there in public, and I'll put underneath there the replication of what I'm doing, what book I'm using, and you can see me go through it. Now the guys on Patreon, they got a play call sheet, so I try to sift through these plays and put them into categories of long distance situations and first 15 plays of the game, so you can actually follow me that way and see me run these plays in that type of progression or in that type of organization as well. All right, guys. All right, I hope you guys like this. The run game, I'm probably not going to do a video on right now because it's pretty kind of self-explanatory. Really stick with the duo and stick with the inside zone plays. I like to run it away from the tight end when it comes to the inside zone plays. So you should get 100 yards easy with this run game. It's really simple. All right, a lot of it sets up the play action. So don't forget to kind of marry those two together. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.